How you all doing? Hope you had a blessed week. It was a great week. I won't lie to you. It was a great week. Yeah. So let's start this. Let's get into the chat. I have something to share with you today. Like I always do. I always have things to share with you. So if you're new to this channel, please do like and subscribe. And for the old subscribers too, if you enjoy what I'm doing, please always like. All right. So let's dive into the chart and see what we have for next week. First of all, I'm going to start with what we have for next week before we do a market review. Okay. Before we do some market review. So this is a very simple chart. This is a very simple chart. Let's start from the weekly. Let's start from the weekly. From previous week, price has come from this, and remember what I always say, it's always from internal to external. That's what you trade. Once you find your internal range, you target your external. So what do we have here now? We have a new internal structure, internal range on the weekly. All right, but we're not expecting price to pull down here next week. I'm not expecting this to be so easy, just pull down. If it pulls down here, then that will show me some weakness. Like if just one candle just pull down here, that will show me some weakness. So I want more candles to close, but what I want doesn't actually matter. You understand? I want to see more candles close, and I want to see price like leave this open. If price want to continue going higher, like really far, leave it open, create another fair value gap, then use that fair value gap to go up higher. Because if what I'm expecting should happen, but I'm still bullish. Even if price come down here, I'm still gonna look for buy anyways. Still gonna look for buy, but just that how I could like to see it happen. Okay, just want to see more candles up here, maybe bearish candle or bullish candle, it doesn't matter. All right, so that's what I have for weekly, which it might take some time for it to happen. Right, because you see this candle, see how this candle like came back down, one candle that created some imbalances whereby price was struggling to break through them, then finally break through them. So that wasn't a smooth price action. So if we don't get exactly like that, that would be a better price action anytime price come to tap this. Okay, so that's what I was just trying to explain to you. But overall, we're still bullish on the weekly. Monthly, we're still bullish also on the monthly. We have Monday candle hasn't closed yet, but we have this candle, which is also a liquidity. It's also a liquidity candle, but price can still come and react to it. The one that I will see, I will even prefer would be this one, because this one have a sweep under it. This one doesn't have a sweep. Until when you have a sweep, that's when I'll look at it. So you can mark it from here or from here. Okay, reason why I mark it from here because of this one. This one will be like a breaker. If you drop down on some time frame to look at it, it's gonna be a breaker because this is a low, this is high, this is a lower low, this is a lower low, right? Then we broke this high. I usually just call this previous high and previous low, okay? Previous high, previous low, but yeah. Anyways, so this is what we have for monthly. We have for monthly to still take a long time to happen, but this is what we have for weekly, which would be won't take that long as monthly candle to happen, right? Then let's look at daily, because I saw something on the daily. So getting into next week, let me delete this. So getting into next week, my attention will be here. This is where if price wants to continue going higher, this is where I want it to respect this and continue going higher from here. Because again, this is an order block. All right, this is an order block. So we already have a sweep of it, which makes it an order block. This is an order block, so we're just gonna mark this like this. Just gonna mark it out like this. So whenever price come here, we can look for entries on 15-minute, 1 hour, then trade this up. All right, so this is what I have for weekly. So we're just gonna trade it from internal to external. But this target is very low, very small, so we can use this to, at least targets these levels here. So this is what I'll be looking for getting into next week. Then depending on what price do after this, then we will determine to see if want to have a weekly expansion to the downside or the expansion to the upside. Okay, if we're going to have expansion to the up, continuation to the upside, I would like to see another sweep of liquidity. Okay, I would like to see another sweep of liquidity on a higher time frame. Then we could have the up one. But if price is going to expand to the downside, I would also like to see a sweep of liquidity. All right, it's still the same thing. Still like to see a sweep of liquidity to the side. Like what I mean is that, like, let's say if Monday and Tuesday start creating the highs of the week, right? So we expect one of them to get swept, right? And if price wants to continue going higher, right? Price wants to continue going higher. This is how I think about it. Then creates like maybe two candles or one candle. I'd like to see one get swept or some internal structure getting swept. Yeah, things like that. So anyways, this is what I have for on NASDAQ getting to next week. All right. So let's look at what actually happened during the week. All right. This is where you get to learn a lot. All right. Because I know many traders like to avoid this part where they do their revision. You know, you need to review your trades. You need to like check and see what did you miss. What did you miss? Even when you have a nice trade, right? You want to make sure to see if like you actually did it right. Go over it. Even if you did it right, go over it. Go to different examples, and you know we need to upgrade ourselves. I don't know how to explain it, but I usually do that. Like when I take a trade, I still go back to that trade. I still go back to it and study it more. You understand? That's how I improve. You understand? Because in this game, we always just want to improve. Just want to improve. Not leaving your strategy, jump into any other strategy, but finding a way to improve. Okay? So let's get to the week. What happened during the week? Okay? So looking at the week, where did we even start? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we started off. Monday started off here. Okay, but let's dive into the. Okay. This is where I started my analysis, getting into next week. Okay. For those who looked for my last week upload and didn't find it, I actually uploaded it. It was funny. I uploaded it, and honestly, my analysis there, I don't think I've done an analysis like that because it was so clean. It was so clean. I did a very nice analysis, but I came back the next day and the view was very low. I've never seen like that low of a view. We're like, okay, let me just delete this because let me just delete it. Let's just get into the week like that. Okay, but later on, I found that I had to realize that I'm actually doing this for myself. You understand? This analysis that I'm doing, I started it by doing analysis for myself. Then I started posting it on YouTube for others to share with me. And I do appreciate you guys that do view, that watch, and do text me sometimes and tell me, oh, you benefiting from this. I really do appreciate that. And for you too. So I will just continue posting for you and for others who can join us in future, right? Even though if I have one view, it's all good. You understand? It's all good. So, because I sure know that, I sure know that this, the way I give it like right from my mind. Okay, let's not get into that. Okay, so let's continue. I'll continue doing what I'm doing. All right, so last week I had this level marked out because one thing that I always tell you guys is that price don't just continue going high like this. No, this is not how price move. This is how price move. If price want to continue going higher, right? At some point we'll have a sweep here, then continue. All right. So looking at daily here, we can see that we had the sweep continue going higher, right? The sweep. I've talked about this in, I think, the previous two videos that I did where I talked about sweep of liquidity and told you that you will be seeing more of the lines on my chart. I can just use all the lines to analyze my chart and know where I'm gonna go next. So looking at this becomes an order block, which price never came back to test, right? Price never came back for this. Okay, and this becomes a protected low. We have a protected low here. Protected low doesn't mean price don't have to come take it out and continue going down. Nothing is protected here, but we just don't want to see price. As long as price remain above here, we're bullish. Okay, we're bullish. So looking at this, of course, you can just trade this on higher time frame. Okay, but again, you want to get involved in this. How do you get involved? You want to see where the close of this is, or you want to go, because I started looking at some, what is it called, daily time frame now, and candles. Started looking at candles now, so reading candles. That's why you see me mark out this. Maybe it might be weird to you, but that is the close of the previous day, right? So you wanna buy below it, okay? You wanna buy below it. You wanna go below it and look for a point of interest. So this is a point of interest below it. This is a point of interest below it, and you can see here the sweep also line up with 4-hour sweep, right? So this is a point of interest. This is a point of interest below it on the 4-hour. So now can even target this. It's gonna be a target. I swear to God, I did this analysis last week. I did this analysis last week, saying that I want to see a speed, because now what I mentioned last week, for those who watched it, can bear me witness. I mentioned reason why price was slow here. There was all this imbalance here, all right? But as soon as we're done filling up the imbalance, we're gonna see speed, because now there's liquidity up here. We're gonna see speed, but if that fails, we're gonna see speed down here. But this is where I'm favoring that we're gonna see speed. This was my analysis for last week, and that happened. Okay, so me getting into the week, knowing that we already had the sweep here, we took some buys here and then went down here and then started buying. So, but I won't lie to you, I didn't trust to just hold all my buys up here, but this is where it gets to. How could you have gotten this trade? You could have gone to 15 minutes time frame. 15 minutes time frame. When you go on 15 minutes time frame, I took this buy. You can see, what do we see again? We have another sweep here, but this was double. What another sweep, and we had an entry. Excuse me. We had an entry. This was an order block, and this was it. This could have been your trade for last week. All right. Then, unless you want to like keep adding more trades and all that. So after that, we had another run here, which was also something on 4-hour. Was something on 4-hour. Look here, we can see this tiny fair value gap inside here, and we have imbalance. Sorry, we have a volume imbalance down here. So if we go back to that volume imbalance, we can see, as long as we're just bullish, right? We're bullish. All you just have to look for a reason to buy. Don't worry about the pullbacks. Just looking for a reason to buy. So go back on 15 minutes. You can see the entry again. You can see we have a sweep here also. You can always use this sweep to line up your thing. You can see we have a sweep here, a sweep of liquidity. Because remember what I said at the beginning of the video, price will always have a sweep when it's ready to push up. Once we get that sweep of liquidity, we can push up. I also did this call out, my other free group, other VIP group, but it's free. Don't have to pay to join. So we'll have this set up. So as you can see, price took out all-time high, then continue going up higher. This are 1 day, second day. Always find these setups, 1 day, second day. All right. So getting into the third day, the same thing again. The same thing. But before market close, we had the sweep, which I took this sell. And trust me, to be honest, I was expecting price to continue going lower. But again, we didn't have any fair value gap here. So I just decided to wait, stay out of NFP. So I didn't trade NFP. I waited to see what price wants to do, if it wants to continue going lower or going higher, because after NFP, I would definitely catch my entry. There will definitely be entry after NFP. All right. So as if I was bullish, maybe I could have been involved, but I wasn't. I was just neutral. It was just neutral. The price was here. I was just neutral based on I took a sell here before market closed the day before. So I wanted to see what's going to happen next. So as you can see, as NFP release dropped, as NFP, yeah, reason why I trade after NFP, not because I'm looking at if if it was negative or positive. I don't care what number it is. All I care about is it should drop. Once it drop, then I'm gonna look for a setup. Okay, so after NFP drop, we had a 15-minute confirmation here. We had a 15-minute confirmation here, which price gave an entry. So here we had this a sweep here. We had a sweep, so we don't expect price to come back to this low. And after that sweep, price rallied up a little bit. I cut some sells here because I was still expecting price to go down. Cut some sells here. Cut the sell. Then NFP came and took me out at break even. So went up. So if I was bullish, okay, if I was bullish, this is where I will catch my NFP setup. This could have been my NFP setup, but I still wanted to wait. Still wanted to wait because price reacted off this fair value gap. All right, and based on what I trade now, this is high probability for me. All right, I just don't have to ignore it. So we had this here, and I was looking on lower time frame to see if there will be a displacement on lower time frame so that I can take the entry or this high getting swept. Then we push down, but none of them happened. So we had to look for a buy here. Here's where I caught my buy. Got my buy here, and that was on 1 minute. Proper time frame alignments. 1 minute is not easy to trade, but if you get it, you get it. So we had the sweep here. We had the sweep here. Also had one here, but this is the one I'm focused on. We had the sweep here and a fair value gap, and this was it. From internal to external. So this was the external, but price played, really played. Price played, came back down. I added more entry, went back up here, added more entry. It came back down again, but my stop loss still remained below here. My stop loss was below here. So I had like few entries here. So as soon as price got here, I closed everything. Like, that's good. So that was it. And I tried another one here because we had another 15 minutes setup. This is me just scalping, just scalping, and started offloading my trades here. So this one was this. You can see we had a sweep here. Okay, we had a sweep here. We had a sweep, closed back inside, and that was an entry. So started trading from here, but just a small pips. So that was it for the review, and yeah, guys. So let me delete all this. So yeah, that's it. So let's see what this week really have for us. Then today is what? I think we have like 2 more weeks before Christmas. I'm still gonna be trading till market close, man. Still gonna be, because as long as this market is moving and we're having a sweep of liquidity, there will be entries. Okay, so guys, do enjoy the rest of your weekend. And if anything changes, I'm gonna share it in my public Telegram. If you want to join, you can join it. It's Blue Traders. If you want to join, you can join. I do share daily updates there. Sometimes I do share entry points. When I see those my A+ setups, that price is definitely going to react to it. I do share them there. All right. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye. Talk to you some other time. And please do like and subscribe. Okay. If you've not subscribed yet, please do subscribe and do share my videos sometimes so that other traders, new traders, can also benefit from it. You can see what I'm dropping here. I'm dropping bombs.